I get a little bit breathless, my thoughts are too big. Can I get some comfort, please? I guess I should have been honest. It breaks in my heart. It's raining down, baby. I'm like a river that's overflowed. The sooner you know it, the less do we hurt. Let me speak the truth. I know you don't want to face it. You think it's too late, but I can see past the rain. Won't you lay it on me? Turn the page and burn it. Let's make up a big bonfire on the beach with the stars as our lighter, and throw our problems in the flame. Throw our problems in the flame. We fell down to the bottom, so bottom up please. We're gonna get over this. I see the smoke in the mirrors. I'm holding the key, one step away from salvation. You're like the ocean, setting me free. Out in the open, I'm picking up speed. No bad thoughts penetrate. Hold me like this is the first time. Our destiny calls, not leaving this incomplete. Won't you lay it on me? Turn the page and burn it. Let's make up a big bonfire on the beach with the stars as our lighters, and throw our problems in the flame. Throw our problems in the flame. And throw our problems in the flames. Ooh, throw our problems in the flames. I get a little bit breathless.
Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing? Or should I say, hey, what's happening, everybody? You know what? I'm not even going to waste time. I'm not going to waste time. I'm just going to bring him in. Come on in, Tony.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on, Don? Haven't seen you forever.
I know, right? It seemed like we were cruising every day together, and then suddenly we were on this long stretch where we're just missing each other in cruises.
Yeah, it's we did do it felt like we did like 4 things together. But yeah, I think we're getting ready to sync up again, though. Aren't we going back on the Wonder of the Seas? I don't even know what the date is on that.
We're on the Wonder of the Seas December 7th, a whole 2 days.
Okay.
Apparently, Effectors 2 is on that ship now, so hopefully we get to see that. And then we're on the Sky Princess together for 7 days.
Maybe we can amend our review of the Wonder of the Seas.
I think we can amend everybody's review that time because they all said the same thing. Beautiful ship, just not ready yet. Just not ready yet.
That was fun, though. Yeah.
What have you been doing, buddy?
Gosh, since the last time I talked to you, I don't know. So it's been, I'm 19 days away from my next cruise. I feel like this is the longest I've been at home for a while. 16 days till my next cruise, and then the last time I cruised was 31 days ago. But in between that time, I went out to Las Vegas, hung out with my brother. My brother and I, we went and did a motorcycle adventure in Las Vegas, and the dude went and bought a motorcycle yesterday, so he's full on joining a motorcycle gang. But yeah, just odds and ends. We went to Jekyll Island, Georgia this week. We've just been visiting family and getting ready. We have our own group cruise coming up for Halloween, so we're trying to get ready for that. But just getting a little break in there, trying to get things taken care of, and then back to cruising. But I miss it. Like, I miss it. 31 days since I've cruised, and I'm ready to get back on it.
Yeah, I understand. Just want to say thank you very much for the super chat. Always Be Booked Cruise podcast.
Tommy Casabona in the house. What's up, Tommy? Yeah, Tommy. So Tommy's got a great podcast, and he's got a group cruise this week. So I've been trying to catch up with Tommy, but I'm leaving him alone because he's got some plans this week. So,
well, I felt a little bad. You and I tried to get together this weekend, but you were traveling with your family.
Yeah,
and so the only day I could do it was you also have your live stream normally Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So I said, well, let's do Wednesday, the day before I leave, and I noticed Sherry has a live stream tonight in like 10 minutes, and I felt really bad that I scheduled something on her time. I didn't realize because it just popped as I was waiting to come on.
It really is so hard.
I love Sherry.
Yeah, it's so hard with so many people out there that you just never know who's going when. So yeah, shout out to Sherry.
We got a super chat. Thanks, Dale. A question: when are you two going to get Emma over to go on a cruise with you two? Hey guys, we've been asking her forever to come over. She just went on a Carnival ship out of New York.
Yeah.
Well, I was just in New York. I would have put her on my cruise, and she just mentioned it. I would have put her on the Oasis of the Seas. It's just,
yeah.
We tried.
Yeah, it'll be fun to connect with Emma on a cruise. But yeah, we missed her in the U.S. this time, so we might have to go to the UK or something. I've been eyeballing a big European 33-dayer next year, Don. I haven't even got to talk to you about it, but it's on a princess ship.
You texted me. I was on a cruise, and you said, "Hey, what are you doing around this time?" And you haven't gotten back to me yet, so I haven't booked anything.
Yeah, we found a different one, but it's a nice one. 33 days transatlantic, goes up into Scandinavia, Norway, Greenland, Iceland, and then it drops off and does a week British Isles. So, well,
as long as it's not during my group cruise, I'm available normally.
Yeah, I'll let you know the dates.
Have you booked? Speaking of booking, have you booked 2024 the Sphere class, the Sun Princess?
I don't think we really booked anything in 2024 yet. I think we have a group cruise at the end of the year on the Celebration, but we haven't booked any new ships. It's really just been an interesting time, just trying to catch our breath a little bit. We haven't booked anything.
You should try and get on to that inaugural sailing with me. Mediterranean, 10-day, Greece, Spain, Rome, and you just missed the $1 deposit sale. So you could have booked it for $1.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see. Do we have any questions out there? I am just trying to scroll up here. I don't see too many coming in as questions yet. So guys, if you have a question for us, just type in question beforehand so we can pick it out of the group, because they're flying by pretty quickly. We got over 1,000 people already watching the stream, and 294 likes. I don't usually do this, but we can get more than that. We should be at least half, right?
Come on, we can get to 1,000. Look, I don't normally do this, and hopefully I don't get in trouble, but I do see a lot of nice ladies in your audience, Don. I think I would like to try to make a play for one of them. There's one called the Jenny B Show. I don't know what you're doing after this, but
I don't know. She was texting me the other day, Tony.
I can send you my number. Oh yeah. She talks to a lot of people, but I think I know where she lays her head.
Yeah, I do too. And you know what? I was texting her the other day. She wished me happy birthday, and I said I just can't wait to see her again in December. Right? It's been so long. We got a super chat here from Matt. Hi, Don. Happy birthday. Thanks to you and Tony for all the great content. Well, thank you guys for watching it, because we wouldn't be here if you guys didn't watch it. It's made a lot of things possible for us. So we really appreciate that. And look at how many. Oh, man, the stream's just going crazy here. Ronald. Hey, Tony. Get Don on the Prima on March 23rd for our group cruise.
There you go. Yeah. So we do have a Prima group cruise. I'm assuming that's the right date. So if you're available.
Well, if they're on it, they probably know more than us. So
that's right.
I was looking at it. That's an expensive cruise, though, right?
I'm really interested to see the Prima. I read an article the other day where not only Del Rio was talking, but gosh, I can't remember the guy that's the other leader there. But it's going to be interesting to me because they said they really kind of push back against the big open spaces. I'm thinking like Royal Promenade, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see all these small. I kind of like the open space, but they said they didn't want it. Redstone, that's the guy's name. They don't want it to look like a mall. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what that ship looks like. I went on you got to go on one of the Virgin ships, Don, just to check it out. The design of those ships are really interesting because they don't have a lot of wide open spaces. They're really kind of tight, all these different venues. I think that's what the Prima is going to be like. I think it's going to be more tight than what we're used to, like on, say, of a Royal ship. But I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I looked at our friend Jay from Ship Life. He was on it not too long ago, and he liked some of it and didn't like other parts. So I'm curious too. It's a brand new ship. I want to get on all the brand new ships. I did look at March. Who knows? I may be there. I just may be there. Got a super chat from Susan Novak. Thanks, Susan. I really do appreciate it. And we also have another one from FedEx. It's always nice when FedEx sends us stuff. Hey, Don, I thought you were on a group cruise. I am on a group cruise. I'm leaving tomorrow.
There's tomorrow.
I tried to talk Tony into coming on this many, many times. But Tony has that Pokemon theory for cruise ships. And he doesn't want to be on the same ship twice. But this one, he wouldn't have been on twice, but it's a long way away. And it was too close to your group cruise in Halloween, right?
Yeah. I think it overlaps. So your cruise doesn't finish. Ours starts before yours. What do you got, like 15 days on this thing?
15-day transatlantic, yeah, wow. On the Rotterdam. It's going to be fun. Like, it's the 150th anniversary of the first transatlantic crossing. So that'll be cool. Really cool to see. I'm looking forward to that.
You've been to Amsterdam before, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's where I caught COVID.
That's right. There you go.
Susan Brown, super chat. Hi, guys. Watch you both have helped me. My next cruise, Norwegian Cruise Lines Breakaway, November 20th. I hear a lot of negative comments about the Breakaway and their cruises. Can you guys give me your thoughts on this? I'm in a Haven suite. Well, you know what? If you're in a Haven suite, chances are you're going to have a very good cruise.
Yes, I've been on the Joy and on the Encore and on the Getaway, I guess, and I've loved it. I've really enjoyed Norwegian over the last year. I wish I'd have gone on it sooner. So yeah, to Don's point, if you're in the Haven, you're going to be well taken care of. So I wouldn't sweat it. That's the thing. Like, we do our best to give impartial reviews, but we're still reviewing everything through our own personal bias, our own personal lens.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the same for everybody else out there. So you got to take reviews with a grain of salt. I mean, even us, right? Like, I don't want to diminish the fact of what we're doing, but yeah, I wouldn't trust anything until I try it myself, for the most part. Like, unless you get, I mean, I guess it's fair, like early on when everybody was poo-pooing on MSC, to stay away from MSC. But when we went there on the seaside, I loved it. So it's hard to say, but yeah.
Yeah, MSC is completely different, North American and Europe. Completely two different. It feels like two different cruise lines when you go on it. I've been on both now. Loved the seaside, right? Seaside we were on, right?
Seaside was the one in 2018. Yeah, Divina we were on. Yeah.
But the Grandioso was not a fan at all.
No, you didn't love it?
On it. Beautiful ships. It just wasn't great entertainment at all.
Yeah.
Shadow puppets. Shadow puppets.
Shadow puppets. Effectors too. I'm looking forward to Effectors too. I do feel, what the cool thing about the Wonder, well, even though the Effectors 2 wasn't there, I do love the fact that we were one of the first people to see Effectors 1 by going on the Spectrum, Like, that was pretty unique. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
We got a super chat from Diana Mills. Thank you, Diane. Much appreciate that. I saw a question here, and it says, did either of you guys ever cruise in an ocean view cabin with portholes? And what did you think? I'll let you go first.
Sure. My very first cruise was on the Carnival Fantasy, and it was almost as forward on the ship as you could go. We didn't know what we were doing, and we were just going for cheap. And it was our first cruise. And so we had a porthole room all the way at the front of the ship, and it was cool. Again, it depends what your propensity to get seasick is. But like the very first cabin, we were like a wave breaker. Like every night you could hear like goosh, goosh. But the porthole was cool. Like I remember when we rolled into Key West, and that was the first place we'd stopped on that ship, just looking out of the porthole and almost being at the water line. again, it all depends what you make of it, right? So at that point, I was so enamored with cruising. I love the porthole and all that. I think it's fine. I like that. I think I like that better than just an interior with no view. I do like having a window or something like that. So I don't know. You ever stay in a porthole room?
I have. I've stayed in almost every type of cabin now, I think. Ocean view. If I have to stay in an ocean view nowadays, it might hurt me a little bit because I'm used to the fresh air,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the big windows. But I've stayed in them. They were fine. I like the natural, at least some light coming in, right, as well.
Yeah.
And if you get some rough seas, you get some really cool views out your thing because the waves come up if you're on a lower deck, right?
Absolutely.
That is kind of neat to see. I also mentioned, see Kathleen here mentioned the Sky Princess in December. Can you say which one? Yeah, we're on the 10th. The 10th of December, we're on that one.
Yeah, so I guess I'm going to be in trouble because that's a secret cruise for me, but I guess it's out there now. Sorry, Jenny.
It's out there. It's out there now. Surprise.
I didn't say it.
I also said, like, isn't that going to be like your third or fourth ship now you've repeated?
No, well, yes.
Yeah.
That will be 3. That's a repeat. So it's I repeated the Liberty, which was really nice, which, I was avoiding the repeat, but it was so cool because that was the 3rd cruise that we'd ever gone on, and that ship was really fun. So I repeated that, and then I repeated the Harmony to get my brother to go on the Harmony. But the cool thing for the repeat on the Harmony is I went right in the middle of Omicron, so there was no aqua show, there was no Greece show, everything was scaled back, everybody was masked up, and so I feel like that was an okay repeat because I did get to see Greece and I got to see the full aqua show, and so that was pretty cool. But yeah, this will be the 2nd time on Sky, which was amazing. I really enjoyed Sky, the fastest internet that we'd ever had.
So far. I remember that.
It was almost as fast as at home. I hope it's still true that it's like that. And then, of course, that Alfredo's, it's going to be a blast. I don't even know where we're going, but it's going to be fun. But we're trying to get we're introducing Jenny's brother, who's never been on a cruise. That's going to be his first cruise. So we're trying to get them turned on to it. And, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, we have my nephew Paul. He's in chat now. He's never been on a cruise before, and he's going on the Harmony. Speaking of which, with me in November, so that'll be fun.
That's a good first.
Mark's going with us, and he's been on one princess ship in his life. So they're going to be blown away with the size of an Oasis class ship. They really are.
Yeah. When is that one for you? Is that later this year?
November 12th, I think. Yeah.
Very nice.
Keith got a question. Thank you for the super chat. And the question, sailing Friday on the Pearl. And we have been upgraded to a 2-bedroom suite. Nice. Grats. We have never sailed in a suite and would love to know the must-dos and don'ts when you have a butler. You know what? I'm one of those people when I stay in a suite, the butler is bugging me to get him to do stuff because I'm such an independent cruiser, right? But I use them to get specialty dining if I haven't booked my specialty dining in time, and also to get me seats into the theater. That is something that they will do. Also, if your spouse or your family has certain treats they like, mention it to them. And when you come back to your room, they'll be sitting there waiting for you 2 or 3 nights out of your cruise.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I was able to, there was a guy that I went to school with that I ran into on a ship, and I had dinner with him, and they were in one of the suites on Royal, and they had that genie. And I do think there's a moment, like it probably is weird if you've never had that to like know what to ask for. But man, that genie came in, and the cool thing is she asked a lot of questions. She was like, what are you guys into? What do you want to do? And so like you and I, when we go to see a show to get the seats that we want to get, we normally have to go a half hour early or something like that. I mean, just to your point, just one of those little perks is, they'll go save the seats for you. You just don't have to waste any time waiting, which is, you're paying for it. So, I mean, keep that in mind. Use the butler. That would be my advice. You've paid up for a suite. Use the amenity as much as you can and don't feel bad about it. But I know if that's not normally how we live our lives, it's got to be weird to be like, oh, let me ask this person to do stuff. But you've paid for it. So
it is. Like I found that when we had a butler when we were on the Beyond in Greece and Rome. And like I forgot to order tickets to go to one of the dining menus. We didn't choose it until too late. He got us in. It was sold out. We couldn't book it online. He got us in. Just happened to ask us, so I'll go with that every time. Super
special delivery.
sticker. Super
Special
sticker
delivery.
from Mary. Thank you, Mary. And question. Here we go. I have only sailed on Royals so far and really enjoyed them. I have been on Liberty and Harmony. Do you really like it? The Royal ships. I just came off Oasis, one of my favorite ships, and I'm still floored every time I go on those ships. I love the entertainment on Royal. I like the promenade, the choice of restaurants you have. I can't complain about the one thing I wish they would cut back on a little bit on those ships is the total amount of cabins they have when you're trying to book them. Like there's like 75 different choices if you're a travel agent to try and put people in there. But I guess it's something for everyone, right?
Yeah, I like the design of the Royal ships. I like the promenade. I like the multi-deck promenade. They even do that on some of their smaller classes. But it's still like if I'm trying to make the decision where I want to go, whenever I think about entertainment, and I've had some great entertainment on NCL lately, but Royal can't be beat. Again, there's not too many. That's the hardest thing, at least for me. There's not too many ships I don't really like. You know, I'm able to find stuff that I like. So it all becomes a decision again. Like, what am I hoping to get out of it, right? Like, is it an entertainment type trip for me, or is it a destination type trip for me? All those kind of things. But I really do like the layout of Royal ships. I like a lot of people complain, oh, it looks like a mall on the inside, but I like open spaces. I like the fact that I'm on the sea, which is vast, but I like the fact that I don't have to feel cramped or claustrophobic because they have these big open spaces. I like that.
Yeah. And always something to do on those ships.
For sure.
Kay's got a question for us. Christmas 2023 going on Carnival Magic in a guaranteed balcony. Thinking about changing to a Cloud 9 spa cabin. What do you both think? If you're going to be going to the thermal suite a lot, that's definitely worth it because you're going to get your use out of it just having those cabins. Plus, they're a little fancier inside as well, right?
Yes, I mean the two things there. If you're going to use the spa, if you're not going to use the spa, don't get the spa cabin. That's the thing, because I've seen that happen before. Like, oh, we're going to get the spa cabin upgrade, and then you never go to the spa. So if you're committed to using the spa, I would say do that. The nice thing is if you're going to the spa cabin and you can still pick where your where your cabin is, that's good because the guarantee they're going to pick your cabin for you. So it depends. If you want to have some more control over where your cabin is, maybe you do the upgrade. But if not, and you're happy at the price point, just let them choose and stay on the guarantee. It depends, again, how much you're going to use the spa. For me, if I'm not going to use it much, I would stay with the guarantee.
Yeah. My last cruise on the Beyond, we had so many onboard credits because we were in a suite that I booked the thermal suite for the entire 10 days. And I was there 25 minutes in the entire cruise. My friend used it, but I never ended up going. It kind of a wasted of my cruise credits at that point.
I've done it. We've stayed in a spa cabin before on we got upgraded to the spa class, I think, on a Celebrity ship that gave us access to the Blue restaurant, which was amazing. I don't know if that's spa or concierge class or whatever. It might have been concierge.
Spa is the Blue, yeah.
Yeah. And we used that restaurant a lot, but we didn't go to the spa much. So, but that was one where they gave us the upgrade, so that wasn't as bad.
We got a question: Celebrity or MSC? Well, they're not really comparable, right?
Yeah.
I'd compare MSC along the lines of kind of Carnival Royal, and then I'd say Celebrity Princess Holland kind of thing. Yeah. One is more adult experience, season cruisers, a little more luxurious, I'd say, premium lines, right?
Yeah.
But MSC is good in like North America. I've enjoyed the sailings in North America, not in Europe, but in North America.
Yeah, it depends what your deciding factors are, like what you're going for. Like if you want the more elevated cruising experience, I would say Celebrity. But if you want a less expensive experience that's on really nice cruise ships, nice hardware, MSC would fit it for you. But yeah, Celebrity is definitely an elevated experience. A lot of good specialty dining there, a lot of kind of higher end venues. So it just depends what kind of choice you want to make there.
Yeah. I want to take my teenage granddaughters on a cruise. Do you have one you would recommend? As far as a cruise line is concerned, I'm guessing. If you've got teenagers, I'd say Royal and maybe even Norwegian.
Yeah, if they're active for sure, like on one of those royal ships that have the zip line and the rock wall and the flow rider and the virtual reality and
the skydiving, the figure
I would go on
skating.
one. Yeah, I would go on one that has the sportsplex. So what the Quantum Plus class, because then you also get you get a flow rider there, don't you? Is there still a flow rider on
There's flow riders on both, yeah. But the Quantum class has that new trampoline thing, the sky.
Yeah. No zip line there, but the sportsplex more than makes up for it because you get bumper cars, you get laser tag. Yeah, I think teens would have a good time like on one of those ships for sure. Odyssey, that's what I'm thinking of. I think Odyssey would probably be fun from a royal perspective. Yeah.
I'm thinking the new Icon class will be right along those lines as well, of that size. I saw somebody asking about testing for back-to-back cruises right now. I've done a few back-to-back now, and they've stopped testing as far as I can see. So I'm excited
that at the end of the month will be the first cruise I get to go on that I don't have to take a test. I still have like 8 EMED tests, but yeah, I don't have to take one.
I just gave 3 to Paul, Angelina, and Patrick there. This is my first full flight, start to finish. I don't have to wear a mask on Air Canada for my flight,
that's cool.
Which is really nice on a 9-hour flight, not have to wear a mask now. So looking forward to that as well. Cherry, thank you for the super chat, and trying to plan my first European cruise. Wanting to do Italy mainly, but could work in some Greece or France port. What cruise line would y'all recommend? Love your channels. Again, every cruise line has their own unique personality. I just did Celebrity, had a great time, but you have princesses there, Norwegians there, royals there, everybody's there. So find the ships and the company that best suits your personality, I'd say.
And let me ask you this, because I've never done the transatlantic and I've never gone to Europe, but the way that the ships migrate, right? So right now we have ships that are leaving to go to, or we have ships coming back to the U.S.
Yeah, coming back to the U.S.
And then in April, you have ships that leave and go to Europe. But the vibe of the ship stays the same, right? Like if you were cruising on Oasis with that crew in the Caribbean, it's going to be the same in Europe, right? So I mean, is it fair to say that it's or does it change drastically based on location?
It can not the crew, but the people on board. So if you're suddenly sailing in the Med all the time, you're going to have a lot more Europeans and people from Italy, and that can change the flavor of the cruise. Like they start doing the food, they start doing the entertainment geared towards the larger audience.
Okay.
So remember us in Japan, our Chinese audience, where we were the 47 North Americans.
Yeah. That was definitely a different vibe, but like I still felt like the so Effectors was there. That was the same as what we saw like on the Odyssey, and then I mean the crowd was definitely different, but I felt like the offering was still fairly what we would have got at home. You know, so the food was different. There was a couple restaurants for sure that was different, but it's interesting. But I was just trying to figure out if a good rule of thumb was if you like the cruise line in North America, you would like it in Europe. But maybe that's not true. I don't know. Or if the vibe, you know.
Yeah. They got a question for you, Tony. Tony, are you going down to the Icon event with Dawn? The Icon. I don't know. I guess I mentioned that the minute the Icon goes on sale, I'm booking it.
Oh, okay.
So they want to know if you're going to come along with you. So.
Yeah, we'll have to sync up the plans. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, so I haven't really made a lot of plans. So I gotta start thinking about 2023. Yeah,
I can't believe I'm already thinking 2024.
Yeah, is that even that? Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not quite there yet.
Desiree Hall, thank you so much for the super sticker. Really do appreciate it. And I saw another question under that. What do you think of a Med cruise back to back? With a TA back to North America, transatlantic. Well, you're talking 28 days probably around that time period if they're 2 10-day cruises. If you have the time, you will love it. If you're a cruiser, you will love it. No question about it.
That's Terry Gallant. He's normally the first person to comment on most of my videos. He's been the squad leader almost every day. So shout out to Terry. What's up, buddy? Yeah,
Hey,
dude,
Terry.
I would do that cruise.
Oh yeah. Do you remember the guys who used to rush to be the first commenter and would type in first, and then
Yes.
they'd be very upset when it would pop third?
Yeah. I think that happens. I don't know how it works out, but there's always a race every day to be part of the notification squad, which I love. So yeah.
Scooby 932, thank you so much for the super chat. Are you guys allowed to recommend a traveler's insurance provider? Basically, travel agents and people try and avoid insurance questions. I can tell you who I use. I use the cruise lines, or I use in Canada Manulife, and I've used John Hancock and Alliance. Yeah. I've had no issues, but I haven't had big claims.
Yeah, I really think we're like, from what I understand from maybe because I'm not a travel agent, maybe I could recommend a thing, but I try not to. I think people, those are one of the things. So two things, I believe that you have to do the research as to what you need to go on your cruise, because ultimately it's up to you to know what paperwork and stuff you need to go on your cruise. So I'm sometimes vague on that. And then the same thing with travel insurance. It's so important that you have to really dig in yourself to make sure that you know what you're getting. So I'm hesitant to recommend, but same as you, Don. We have an annual plan with the Alliance, spelled Alliance, French company. I've never filed a claim, so I don't know if it's good or bad or not. I feel like the price is good. I feel like it has the coverages I like. But again, that's one of those things that as a traveler, you've got to get really you got to educate yourself on, right? Because I think that's why I'm hesitant to recommend, because I think that you want to know yourself.
You also don't want anyone coming back on you if they have problems with an insurance company saying, hey, you said they were good, because everybody's experience can be different, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You can buy a Ford Mustang. This person can buy a Ford Mustang. You have a great car. That person has a lemon.
Yeah.
They're the same car, right? It's everybody's different experience.
We're saying don't sue us. That's what we're saying. We don't want to be sued.
Much.
We're trying to avoid litigation here.
The Naughty Cruiser Traveler Blogs, thank you for the super chat. MSC in 4 days, celebration transatlantic in 3 weeks. Any recommendations for MSC must see or do? Well, if they have the Shadow Puppet Guy, that's a must see. It really is. Try their specialty restaurants, because they normally have a really good variety on the ships as well. And if you're on an MSC and they have the Formula One racer, try and be the #1 scorer. I love that damn thing. Yeah. I was on there like for hours and hours.
Yeah, that's cool. Did they have bowling? Is that where we bowled? We might have bowled
we bowled on MSC Divina, yeah.
The one thing that sticks out in my mind too, at least on Seaside, the way they did their atrium is they have really good atrium parties. Remember they had like those disco parties, and it was a tiered thing. They'd have the DJ, but then they have all these dancers. So it's almost like you got another show in the atrium. So I'd check that out, Mike.
Yeah. And you notice that every cruise line now is doing the silent disco.
That's right.
You see.
Yeah. It's easy to do, right? Yeah, and it's unique. So it's kind of cool.
It used to be, you used to say, oh, that's different. But nope, boom. It's it's just everywhere now.
Yeah.
Question. Can you both share your favorite dessert of all time on a cruise? Ooh.
I mean, I'm still like creme brulee. That's still my favorite cruise dessert. I feel like we've probably had some good desserts. We've had those things where they pour the chocolate over and it melts, like the little ball, the globe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna say creme brulee. That's the easiest one. I'll take it every time.
I was once on a princess ship, and I knew the chef on board, and he knew I was coming to his chef's table. So he brought out at the end, just for me, this bowl that was like this big, and it had every flavor of ice cream you could think of, from sherbet, vanilla, chocolate, and he made it all by hand. It was like 20 scoops on it. That's probably my favorite dessert. I'm a big ice cream guy, so yeah, that blew me away that he went out of his way to do that for me too, just because he knew I was coming to the dinner. So
that sounds good.
Yeah, we are taking the Royal Caribbean's Brilliance of the Seas. Are all the ships the smaller ones in Europe that go to the Mediterranean? They got some large ships going back and forth now. The Wonder was just there. in Europe. So it's all kinds of ships. It depends on the ports you're going to. A lot of the cases. Any more question? Okay, here we go. Dawn, I love all the stories you share in your birthday video. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's crazy how many great people we meet, Tony, on cruise. Like you and I became friends through YouTube, right? Yeah. Can you share a funny one of you and Tony that we never heard? Oh.
What's something funny that's happened to us? I mean, I think most of the big stories are out there. Traveling in the typhoon.
We pretty much tell everything out there. I still got a kick. Like I mentioned our hurricane experience there, where we just sitting there and the weather. Oh, the trees are kind of blowing back and forth and that, and we checked the weather and it said windy because of typhoon. Well, yeah, you think?
That was crazy. So the whole getting to China thing was interesting. So like, I don't even think I had Don's phone number. And
you did at that time, because I had to text you about the address. Get this, right, folks. I don't know if I told you guys this or anything. Yeah. I land in Shanghai and I'm going to the Disneyland Hotel in Shanghai, Disneyland.
Yeah.
I get out to a taxi and I say, yes, I'm going to Disney. And they looked at me like I was talking not just English, just a foreign language from space. I said, no, Disney, Mickey Mouse, no idea. And I'm in Shanghai and it's called Shanghai Disneyland. So once I finally figured out how to get us there, I texted Tony and said, here, get the address. You're going to need it when you arrive.
Yeah. So the way it was supposed to work out. So Don had taken a cruise from Japan to Shanghai. And then we were supposed to meet at the airport. The plan was to meet at the international terminal, but the terminal that Don knew, because he came in from Asia, was actually the domestic terminal.
Yeah.
So I got there. I think I traveled for like 18 hours, maybe close to 24 hours. I get to Shanghai and I can't find Don. So I think I knock around the airport. It was daylight when I got there. I think I knock around the airport for like 4 hours. I'm like, I know I'm in the spot, but I don't have any cell phone service. I don't know how to get on the internet. I don't have a SIM card in my card. Like, this was like the least prepared I've ever been anywhere, and I can't speak any of the language. Now, fortunately, I did have a printout of the Disney. Like, I did have the translation of the place that I was supposed to go, but it was getting scary. So I was there probably for like 3 hours. And then I finally went, well, I'm not finding Don. I walked all over the place. Yeah. So I got into the taxi, and that was scary. I got in a taxi in Shanghai, and this guy still didn't know where Disney was, even though I had it in Mandarin. And I finally got there and I walked in and Don was just sitting there on the couch. So it was nice, but it was pretty that was my first time off the continent. That was my first time to leave North America. And I was like, wow, I am ill prepared for this. I hadn't really been cruising that often. I hadn't really been traveling that much. That's probably my 10th cruise. I'd have to look and see what that cruise was. But yeah, it was that was a trip. But then we had like these beautiful like days at Shanghai Disney where the weather was wonderful. And then we just casually were checking our email, and sure enough, it's like, get to the cruise port right now. Typhoon is coming. Go. Yeah. It was crazy.
And just so you guys folks know that I didn't just abandon Tony. I had taken a taxi from the hotel to look for him as well. And we just couldn't find it. We couldn't find each other. Shanghai airport is huge.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't feel abandoned. It's just like, we just couldn't find each other. Yeah.
Super sticker from Legacy Christy 1993. Thank you, Christy. Really appreciate that. And look for more crews. Look for more questions. Boy, it's hard to keep up with chat, folks. What are we at?
Yeah.
1,580 people. 823. Okay, guys, we need 177 more likes to hit that 1,000 mark.
We can do it. I've seen Cunard roll through a couple times. I just want to say this. So I started cruising in 2017. Don's been cruising a lot longer than I have, but I have been on 9 different cruise lines since then, including the shutdown. Cunard, I don't know what's next on my list. Like, I still need to go on Holland America. I'd like to go on like Silver Seas and Oceania, those kind of things. Every time I think of Cunard, though, I think of I have to be dressed up all the time. So it's not really high on the top of my list, but part of our plan next year of maybe getting back from the UK is to take the Queen Mary back to New York. So Cunard could be on my list. Have you ever cruised Cunard?
I did. In fact, when I was studying to become a travel agent, I won a transatlantic cruise on Cunard with an inside cabin. Speaking of transatlantics.
Oh, wow.
The ships are designed really old school. Like you'll be walking and all of a sudden you have to take this little elevator down to the half level to get to the next area. They have things on board like biggest library at sea, 10,000 books. They have planetariums, but and really old school Broadway shows. So like we're talking Vegas style Broadway shows. But there's so much history on the ship. You're walking around, you're seeing photos of Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis and Marilyn Monroe when they were on the ships and stuff like that. It is kind of cool, but I don't think I could cruise with them every week.
Right. Yeah. Like, is it one of those things that's cool for a few days and then you're like, oh, okay, I wouldn't mind something a little more active?
Yeah. I see there's a question here. Can you talk about the drink packages on the MSC? I don't ever get drink packages unless they're already included in the cruise for some reason. I'm not a big drinker. I might have 2 on my cruise, right?
Yeah, I think the only time I've had drink package is NCL's Free at Sea and then whatever the Princess one is called, but I've never straight up bought a drink package. To me, it's just math. Find out what the drinks cost on the ship, and if they're $10 a day and if the drinks are $10 to $12 and the drink package is $60 a day, then if you're going to drink 6 or 7 drinks, it'll make sense. If you're not, just pay for it outright. That's kind of the calculation I do. And you can find that stuff. Like if you go like to the Facebook group of the Sailing Before, or even look on Cruise Critic, you can say, hey, how much does a drink cost on the MSCC side? And then you can do that to do your calculations.
Yeah. A lot of people were asking me how my friend Alicia's doing after our cruise. I guess I can announce it now. She's getting married very soon.
Oh, congratulations.
And,
awesome.
She has moved from the sunny climate of Key West to Chicago just in time for the winter.
Chicago's a cool town.
It is, but I mean, it's a completely different vibe than Key West.
Key West, yeah.
Matt sent in a super chat. I have 9 comped cruises from Celebrity Blue Chip, I guess, between now and next September. Tony, with your play in the casino, do you take advantage of the comp offers? Which casino program is your favorite?
So the challenge is I play table games mostly, and I don't think they're on the same comp system as the slot machine. So I think slot players end up getting more. Like I feel like, and I've not done it yet, I feel like to really get noticed on the tables, maybe you got to drop in with like $1,500 or $2,000 just to get some notice or something. I've started to get some casino offers. The Princess has been nice. They've given us casino offers and they give us free play. I like the casinos that don't charge you money to get money off your card, right? Yeah. Like, so you're not carrying around a lot of money. But like Royal, unless you're at a certain level in their casino, they charge you to get money at the table. There's some cruise lines that I like Princess. I guess what I'm trying to say, the Princess Casino, they don't charge you any fees at the slot machine or at the table to get money out, which is nice. I usually bring enough cash to gamble with, but then like when we were on that long cruise through the Panama Canal, like what am I going to bring? $3,000 or $4,000. I don't want to deal with that. So it's nice to be able to have the ability to get stuff off your card. I think as far as casinos go, I really like, for craps at least, I like the game that they spread on NCL. But the overall, we've been treated really well by the Princess Casino. Yeah. I like gambling on Princess. They have a really good thing going on there. So, but Carnival also has a great casino. I think I got some casino offers after going on the Liberty. So,
I think Royal and Carnival offer a lot of casino perks, like faster than everybody else, as far as I've seen so far.
The Naughty Cruiser that's in here, just and maybe Naughty Cruiser Mike, you can speak on it. I know that Mike goes Princess all the time on free offers, so I think Princess is hooking him up, and more so than Carnival.
I don't get them. But I usually win, right?
You don't play every day either, right? Like, I think you got to grind it out.
We got a question.
The Wu-Tang Life makes a good point. The casino always wins. So let's put the disclaimer out there. Don't ever gamble thinking that you're winning. Only gamble for, entertainment, that kind of stuff. I enjoy being at the tables, and I enjoy that as much as buying a sporting event ticket or a concert ticket, something like that. So only use your disposable income when you're gambling. And if you have a problem, call somebody for sure.
Yeah, and just avoid the casino at all costs. If
Exactly.
You have a problem, for sure. Are we both jazzed about the new Love Boat? I'm guessing they're talking about the show.
Yeah, probably.
Real Love Boat. Have you watched it yet?
Yeah, so I watched last week's episode, and I know you guys did a review on it on Movie Related. I didn't get to see a review. My two takeaways are this: I love reality TV. It was super cheesy, like the whole interaction between you could tell that the hosts, like Jerry O'Connell and Rebecca Romaine, they're just the coolest person on the ship was the captain. That guy seemed like he was supposed to be there. He was in the moment. He was giving love advice. Everybody else seemed like, what are we doing here on TV? So that part was cheesy, but I loved all of the shots of the ship. I love seeing the drone shots of the ship. I love the old throwback graphics for the Love Boat. I love seeing Isaac. Later on this season, Charo is going to be there. So to me, there's enough nostalgia to get me past the cheese. And then I was completely shocked that the lady chose the guy at the end. I don't know if you talked about that.
I remember that.
But so there was some fun reality aspects of it. If you don't like reality shows, you're not going to like it. But I think there's enough cruise stuff there that as a cruise fan, you could suffer through the reality and see some cool Love Boat nostalgia. What did you guys think about it? I didn't hear the review.
Yeah, well, we actually watched two of them. We watched Love Boat Australia as well. And I'll tell you, the production value between the two, it seemed like two different shows.
Really?
Like just the look, Paul made the comment and says, we're doing our review, and I had watched the North American one and they had watched the Australian one, and we didn't realize that when we started the review. We just thought it was the real Love Boat. And they're saying, oh, the people on board, why are there like 6s and not 10s? Isn't this a loving dating show? And I'm going, what are you talking about? They're gorgeous people. Well, different shows. And there was a big difference in the cast and that and on board. But yeah, super cheesy, still fun. You know who didn't enjoy it a lot of the times were the people on the Regal Princess when they filmed.
Yeah.
Because they blocked off some areas, right?
It seemed like, though, they were filming in that area that you can't go into anyways.
Sanctuary in that.
Sanctuary. Yeah. So it seemed like a lot of the stuff happened there. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I got pushed out of an area, that would be a bummer. But I
did a lot of stuff by the pool. Quite a few and this is only the first episode, right? Who knows what they did for the rest of the show. But
it's going to be interesting. I like I didn't see the Australian one, but I do. I'm a fan of the show Below Deck, and I believe that Hannah, that's the cruise director there, was prominent on Below Deck. So I have to see if I can find the Australia one.
We got a super sticker here from NNA. Thank you so much. And I'm going to scroll down to see if we get a question. Here we go. Do you guys know what type of news they will showcase about Icon of the Seas on October 18th? They're not going to tell us a whole lot, but they're going to pique our interest coming up on it. I was on a training session on the Oasis of the Seas. I ended up taking the whole course. I was just supposed to show up, and I ended up taking the whole course and graduating again. It's the 5th time I graduated. But they were so secretive. They said nobody's talking about it. They are under NDAs. They're under all kinds of. No one's talking about it. So I was kind of upset with them because I wanted them to spill the beans.
Right.
Because I said, you guys are wasting opportunity. I mean, I've already booked Princess in 2024. The Icon's coming out in 2023. I should be knowing more about your ship than I know about the Princess ship. So,
right.
Yeah.
I haven't followed any of it. I need to bone up on some of these new ships. I haven't really got into it, but yeah. So Sphere and the Icon, and I think I'm going to be on Prima this year, so I'm excited about that. But other than that,
well, here's an interesting one for all these long flights. We are taking 4 back-to-back cruises in Australia. I'm a little jealous. We need to fly almost 24 hours from, I guess, Minnesota to Sydney. Advice from you both: straight through or break up the flight? Depends on where you're sitting. If you're sitting in economy, break up that flight a little bit if it's 24 hours. If you're in first class, take it all the way, baby, because you could sleep and you're going to be served good food. But that's really expensive to go to Australia first class.
Yeah, when we flew, so I flew from, where was I living at? I guess I was in North Carolina, Charlotte, when we went to Asia. And so I had to fly 4 hours or 5 hours from Charlotte to Los Angeles. And then I think my flight from Los Angeles to Shanghai was 13 or 14 hours. And I bought two. I didn't get first class. It was cheaper for me to buy 2 economy seats on both of those flights. Well, the economy seats were bigger going from Charlotte to Los Angeles, and they were really smaller going to Shanghai. I guess the thing that I would say is just make sure that you get up and walk around. That was the big thing, like wear compression socks, get up and walk around. To me, I'd rather just knock out the whole flight if you can find some sort of comfort level to do it. But it was a trip. Like trying to fly 13 hours was the longest, or 14 hours the longest I'd ever flown. And it just became a mental thing just to try to trick my brain into like, okay, I'll be off this plane soon. But it was a long flight. But I would just try to knock it out, I think.
Question. Flying to Barbados from Toronto for back-to-back on Rhapsody. Do you have any thoughts on WestJet from Toronto? They show a direct flight for less than 400. WestJet is fine. The only reason I fly Air Canada more than WestJet is because I collect air miles that I use on Air Canada. So when I go on a long flight, like I'm on tomorrow, I can use my air miles and book, the lie down seats on them. WestJet has a really good premium economy. Air Canada is better if you're going business class. That's so far what I see. Tony, you got some punishment coming for you. So Tony, your punishment is you can't think of any other question asked if you don't answer his question. So Allure of the Seas next week. Any suggestions?
I've never been on Allure of the Seas, but the same, I give the same advice for every Oasis class. Really, there's so much to do on the Oasis class, so much great entertainment. First thing that you want to do when you get on that ship, if you want specialty dining, book your specialty dining. And if there's any shows that you definitely want to see, try to book those shows as soon as you get on board. That's the biggest thing for Royal for me. You want to get all those bookings in place, because if you don't book that specialty dining in the beginning, you're going to have trouble. But on any Oasis class, my advice is always go to the Broadway show. I don't know what the Broadway show is on Allure. And then always go to the Aqua Theater. And I'm assuming they've got ice skating on that show too. So I'm a big entertainment guy. I would go see all of those shows. And then I don't know much about that ship. I was listening to Always Be Booked podcast because he's going on that ship next week. And he said that ship's not amplified. So I think there's a club called Dazzles. When we were on the Harmony, Dazzles was on deck 8. And they had a real hot band in there every night. I listened to when we were on Harmony, we went to the Schooner Piano Bar every night. And that was wonderful. We went to Dazzles and heard a good band. There's always good Latin music and boleros. So it's going to be entertainment overload. And I would look every day at the program, mark some things that you want to do, but don't try to do everything that you mark. That's really the best way to cruise, I think, is to have some things in mind and then allow yourself not to do everything if you don't want to. So some good entertainment on the Oasis class ships.
Yeah. The Allure has Mamma Mia on board.
Okay.
So
that's
do your specialty dining right away. Book your entertainment in this order. Do the Aqua show, then the main theater show, and then do the ice skating show. Because if one gets canceled, you want to have the most chances is going to be the Aqua show to get canceled. So you want to book that early in the cruise. So if it gets canceled, you might catch it later on in the cruise. We had that problem on the Oasis. I booked it later in the week, and I ended up not seeing the Aqua show at all because of the weather. So had I booked it on the first night, it was fine. I would have seen it. Yeah. So always try and go in kind of that order. It's just one of those things. But yeah, it is a beautiful. It's one of my favorite ships is the Allure. So, question: Hey Don, was the Beyond as great as it looks? I'm on it March next year in the aft-facing balcony. Nice. And again in 2024, aft-facing Sky Suite. Okay. I love both your channels. Watch every day. Thank you very much. Yes. And hey, if you're on it in March, Captain Kate will be back on board in March, so you'll be lucky there. The Beyond was beautiful. The ship itself is absolutely gorgeous. I tried 3 different specialty restaurants. They were all good. The entertainment was amazing on board. So yeah, like even the crew doing the game shows were super nice and super friendly. And so, yeah, I had no complaints on my Celebrity Beyond, other than it was super hot in Greece that whole time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was probably good to see Captain Kate again, right?
It was. And you know what? I got to see her husband.
Oh, that's
he was
cool.
on the cruise, and her niece and nephew were on the cruise as well. So I got to meet them, which was really, really nice. And she remembered Alicia, who was on the cruise, and went running over to Alicia as well. Cool. So that was pretty nice, that she remembered her as well. How much do you research shore excursions before you book them? Interesting question. Myself, I like to do different shore excursions, so I don't often research them. I take them to see what they are.
Yeah.
But if I'll give you a recommendation for a shore excursion for next year, anybody. If you're going to Alaska, do the Aleutian Ballad Deadliest Catch sailing.
How was that? I read that. So what's the setup? They said there's like a mini place for you to sit on like they do a show and you kind of sit on the deck.
Yeah, well, they've completely redesigned the ship, and they have holding tanks in front of you and a work area. And then they have along one far side lengthwise, they have seats facing down and facing forward. And they will talk about the history of the ship. They'll talk about, fishing and all that kind of stuff. And then they'll show you how they do it. They have pods out in the water as well. If you go early in the year, April and May, you will go to Eagle Island, which has like hundreds of eagles will come out to the ship to get fed.
Oh, wow.
If you go in the summer months, you'll see all the salmon fishing boats out there just pulling in millions of fish by the net full. And if you go in the fall, you'll see bubble feeding whales all over the place on that excursion, which is kind of cool. So there's something all year on that sailing. Plus the history is absolutely amazing to hear some of this. That ship should have sunk like 7 times.
Oh, wow.
And it's still around. Hearing the history is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I mean, my answer to that question is, unfortunately, I do so much stuff by the seat of my pants that I don't do a lot of research, and I probably would benefit from doing more research. But I just like experiencing things as they happen, right? So I don't like things to be over planned, and I probably do miss out on some stuff. But I still get that wonder of just even after all these cruises, it's still like fresh to me because I don't like if I'm going to go on a ship, I don't really watch much of the videos on it. I don't watch the ship. I just want to walk on it and be like overcome with it. I'm the same way with my shore excursions, but yeah, there's some great shore excursions out there. So for sure.
This one, hey, Tony, when will you be updating the Have to Lose channel? I look forward to hearing. I think you've almost said,
I don't think it's going to go away. Like, if you know my personality, it kind of ebbs and flows. I like the community that we have over there. There's a lot of people still being very supportive of each other and a lot of success stories over there. What happened to us is we went to the doctor for our annual checkup in the beginning of July. And that started me on a series of doctor's visits that really kind of turned me inward as I had to deal with some stuff like my thyroid thing. And, we were dealing with these sleep studies and all kinds of stuff. And so it really soured me from like, hey, everybody, this is what's going on in my life health wise. And plus, I still wanted to do the work on the main channel, that kind of thing. So I do want to do an update. I'm a little stubborn too. Like when everybody starts asking for an update, then I don't want to do an update, especially when people are nasty about it. Nobody here is being nasty about it, but I've seen some people be nasty about it. So I don't count us out. I think we will still be there encouraging people Have to Lose wise, but it's been a challenge lately with some stuff that's going on health wise. So I don't know. Stay tuned. But thank you.
Hey, I watch every one that you put up. So
yeah,
I'm there. We have Don, you didn't see me waving from you. That was you on the Disney Wish, Joe. Okay, I saw you. I just didn't know who you were.
I even
No,
saw
I
Joe
had
on the
no
I saw
idea.
Joe on the ship cam. I saw him on the internet, so I was waving back.
You know what was funny? I forgot about that. When I was on Royal Caribbean, somebody said on embarkation day out on the dock, there was somebody out there with a big banner saying, "Don, have a great cruise," and they were waving and all this. I don't know if it was for me. It could have been for anybody, right? It could have been their father, their kids, whoever going on the ship. But a bunch of people mentioned, "Hey, did you see it?" I didn't. I was in my training course, but that was for me. Thank you. That was awesome that you guys did that. I keep looking for videos of it, and I can't find it yet. But I that was like probably wasn't for me. It was for Don Snow, somebody like that.
That's funny.
Tony, have you booked any cruises for Christmas?
I honestly, because Jenny has the whole list. I don't know when we're going wherever. I just know the next one. Like, I just know that I have to be in Miami at the end of the month. And then I know at some point we're on, like, I don't even know the dates that you were talking about. So I know we're going to be on the Prima between now and the end of the year. I know we're going to be on the Celebration between now and the end of the year. We're going to be, now that you said the Sky, we're going to be on the Sky. We're going to be on the Wonder. I don't know if any of that's during Christmas or Thanksgiving, but you know me, like after having like close to 40 or 50 days off of the sea, I'll be looking, there's so much stuff going on around here too. We're almost through hurricane season, and and cruises are still cheap. So I'm thinking about trying to jump on some more stuff.
Yeah. Well, Tony, it's been an hour already.
Oh, wow. That's quick.
Zoomed by. We hit 1,100 likes. Thank you, everybody out there. That's amazing. This was great. When I get back from my trip, we'll have to link up and jump on your channel, have a live stream there.
Oh, for sure.
And maybe we could talk Emma into joining us one night.
I'm sure she would.
That would be good. I'm sure she would. We've been on her channel enough times to bug her. So right. She can come on and bug us.
There you go.
Well, thanks everybody out there again. I really do appreciate everybody being here. Thank you to everybody for the super chats. Stay tuned. Tony's got his Halloween cruise coming up October 29th.
I think it starts on the 29th. Yeah.
29th. Yeah. And I am leaving tomorrow, heading over for the Rotterdam. So lots more cruising videos coming up. And you missed your Canada cruise. I was so disappointed you didn't get to come. That would have been your first haul in America.
I feel like it was the right decision. It was kind of a bummer not to go on it because they really were doing something nice for us. But I'm really glad I made that decision because that ship ended up changing ports. And then, of course, we had the hurricane scare here. And so, yeah, it was just one of those things.
Well, you and I will make a deal that I'll get on a surprise cruise of yours group next year, and you can come on one of my surprise groups next year.
Yeah.
And we won't even mention it. We'll just do it.
There you go. Sounds good, man.
Thanks, buddy. All right. Until next time, guys, have yourself a safe and a great vacation. Tony, send us off.
Yeah. So thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. And of course, I'm Tony. That's Don. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.
And keep up to date with all things
cruising.
Gotta do jazz hands. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later.